Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today, roided out villagers take on roided out siege as MbL, playing as the Spanish in red prepares to take on Hera, playing as the Celts in blue. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, not a terrible time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Spanish are a paramilitary civilization that man-oh-man loves their gunpowder units. Spanish gunpowder units fire 18% faster, and their unique unit is the Conquistador, a heavy-hitting but on the whole less accurate mounted hand cannoneer that comes with more HP but less range. Now, to defend their costly gunpowder units, the Spanish can also train a second unique unit, the Missionary. This is basically a mounted monk with less range that can't pick up relics, but before you get too worried, realize that the Spanish can upgrade both their monks and their missionaries to convert enemy units faster and can actually upgrade the missionary to get extra range. Now, to support their military-industrial complex, Spanish villagers do build structures 30% faster than normal. Their blacksmith upgrades cost no gold at all, and they get 20 gold for every single tech that they research. So when MbL gets Loom, we'll see that 100 gold at the top left of our screen get reduced to 50, and then once Loom has been researched, that 50 will bounce back up to 70. Basically a nice little government rebate, a little tax return on your R&D in this game. Now, why did I call the Spanish a paramilitary civilization? Because their villagers can actually be upgraded to get a massive 40 extra HP, +2/+2 armor, and a massive +6 attack boost, which together with the Sappers upgrade makes their villagers basically amazing at taking down buildings, castles, towers, even walls in the later stages of the game. Man, oh man, have we seen some supremacy Spanish villagers absolutely tearing down civilizations, basically as if they were Huskarls. In any event, let's take a look at the north of our map where we've got Hera playing as the Celts in blue, a civilization built around their need for speed. Celtic lumberjacks work 15% faster, which is great because Celts need lots and lots of wood for their primary focus, which is siege. Celtic siege workshops work faster, their siege units fire faster, and by the way, that includes their trebuchets, and all siege workshop units can be upgraded to get a massive +40% extra HP. Now, coming back to the need for speed, Celtic infantry do move faster than normal starting in the Feudal Age. Their castles and towers can be upgraded to attack 33% faster, and their unique unit is the Woad Raider, the second fastest infantry unit in the game, and one that comes with a pretty good amount of HP and a pretty strong attack. Hopefully we get to see Woad Raiders because I love seeing them in their very colorful pantaloons, their tattoos, and their long hair. Very much a 1960s hippie revolution unit. Oh, look at that. You didn't even need to push that deer on that at the end. It just ran straight into the arms of the hunters. And in order to feed a big, hungry, growing Celtic population, the Celts can actually steal and convert enemy herdables, even if there's enemy units standing right next to these adorable piggly wigglies. These, let's call them pre-pepperoni for now. MbL feeding the pigs into the Spanish meat grinder. Actually, pork for the Spanish is not actually too inaccurate. Man, oh man, do the Spanish love their pork. In any event, good time for us as both players research Loom. Take a look at the top left of your screen. 50 has just become 70, and that is just a super cool feature of the Spanish. What an overall battle of two very powerful civilizations we've got in front of us today, and not only civilizations, but two powerful titans and gladiators of the game. These two, like I've said, I believe in the last video I'd made of them too, they have been meeting a lot on the ranked ladder, and we are all the better for it. The only real winners, obviously, is whoever takes the W at the end of the game, but really the only winners of all of these games are pretty much us, the viewers. And so a big thank you to both Hera and to MbL, regardless of who ends up winning this game, or any game, to be fair. Like I said, until they invent gambling related to Age of Empires, neutral is the position that yours truly will be taking. Speaking of neutral, primary gold, nice and secure to the kind of center rear position. Primary stone, extra gold, very much exposed in what is very much an open northern portion of the base. But look at this. Look at the rush distance between the bases. This is ridiculously narrow, and I'm not sure who benefits here. Is it the faster moving cavalry of the Spanish, or is it the 15% faster moving infantry of the Celts? For now, it looks like the Celts are moving forward, but at a basic clip, meaning a basic speed for just another 4 seconds. Watch that speed bonus take effect. Oh, it reminds me of speedwalkers. Every time I would visit my grandparents, there would always be people out with ski poles, even though it was like 40 degrees out, and they would just be speed walking. And that is exactly what the Celtic infantry are doing here. But as we saw, 2 rear forests, not going to be very much help against any kind of aggression here. The west, the north, the east. East less so, but this base is pretty much an open base as MbL now shoos Hera's units away. These are just basic early feudal melee units. Let's take a quick look at Hera's base. Primary gold also off to the side, not really on the attack path. Primary stone also on the attack path. Extra gold to the left, extra stone and gold also to the rear. He at least has a forest in the forward position, does our Celt. Although with those Celtic lumberjacks, we'll see how long before we have to call the... Who is it that cares about the forest? Is it the World Wildlife Federation? Is it Greta Thunberg? Who do we need to call if Hera depopulates the forest and deforests the map? It looks like MbL for now has held. A couple of archers are going to be enough to shoo this Celtic force away. I thought we got rid of stacking, but maybe we didn't. And MbL begins a nice wall off to the left flank. By the way, I did not mention that he had extra stone off to the left and extra gold right, nice and safe to the rear of his base. Billy Club wielding militiamen are waiting for the attack. He's got a skirmisher, an archer, and a scout. Basically, Hera is just missing a spearman, and he is going to have one of everything. House. It is actually Hera, not MbL, who is housed in this game. And he's going to be housed for a while with one villager building a house. I'm going to stop saying the word house. I feel like I've said that like 7 times already in the last literally 30 seconds. And actually, it's MbL who's missing just the militiaman to round up his roster. Hera missing a spearman to round out his roster. So we've got quite an interesting army composition out of both players. At the end of the day, with Micro, while army composition is super duper important, as it almost always is, really it's the Micro in Feudal Age that distinguishes the victors from the vanquished. As a scout chases a scout here to the right. Oh, let's see it. Hera does take the high ground. MbL then takes the high ground on him. Looks like we might have our first kill if MbL can close. I think he still needs 2 more whacks of the not that strong sword. Even though they attack on a 5, Hera does have 6 HP. And even with the high ground, it is MbL who kills that high ground scout and a militiaman. So 2 kills to none. Our Spaniard taking a healthy kill lead. There's a 3rd kill as well. He is starting to pick off some expensive units here as MbL. Actually, except for that one scout, every single unit he's killed so far has been a gold intensive unit. Gold intensive for the Feudal Age, but intensive nonetheless. The problem for MbL is that Hera's still here on the high ground with 4 skirmishers, 2 archers. I'm assuming those 2 archers are going to get targeted right quick by red, who is now chasing blue the hell out of the forward position of his settlement, which, as we saw, is starting to get walled off slowly but surely. Very much high ground here for our Celt, who returns with 2 reinforcing skirmishers. Let's actually highlight everything. Take a look at HP. And this is what I'm talking about with Feudal Age army. As always, army composition is important, HP is important, health of the units, but really Micro, who takes the high ground, who can outmaneuver, who can move, stop, attack, also known as kiting, also known as a million other different phrases. For now, looks like Hera is trying to pick off that one archer unit. We'll keep, oh, maybe he's misclicking. I thought for sure he was trying to pick off that one archer. It looks like he was trying to kill the skirmisher next to him. Mutually assured destruction. As a couple of weak skirmishers are dying here. I don't know why Hera keeps feeding these archers into the meat grinder. Not too sure he should be training archers at all at the moment, especially if you just see skirmishers from your opponent. Remember, skirmishers do come with attack bonuses against one another. And while this happens, not a bad time for us to look at what's going on in the economic side of the game. Both players at 31 villagers. We've got double archery range for our Celt, and I believe there should be a secondary structure, which is right next to... you know, those of you who watch me regularly know that it sometimes takes me a while to locate building, especially since they all essentially have the same thatched roofs. Roofs, not roofs. I don't know why I said roofs. But in any event, double archery range and a blacksmith for blue, archery range, stable, and a blacksmith for our Spaniard, who now has the exact same army count, the exact same villager population, has the 200 gold he needs to go up to castle the MbL, but what he doesn't have is food because he is retraining scouts. Not a bad move. If you see your opponent has gone full on skirmishers, scouts are super quick right now. 1.5, 1.5 tiles movement speed per second. So they can close on these skirmishers who have minimum range, which means the second they close ranks, rather the second they close in on the ranks, there's nothing the skirmishers can do but die. Unless, as we saw, we have the Feudal Age fart defense, where they just diffuse one in every direction like a fart in a room. But for now, Hera is gathering a lot of food. He's got 4 more villagers on food. He does have 537 gold. Does he have a market if he wanted to, quote-unquote, balance his economy, which basically just means fancy schmancy lingo for buying and selling stuff? No, he does not. He also, by the way, our Celt has no wood whatsoever. The ability of these players to just float 0 resources, let's say non-essential resources right now, for example, like wood. Right now you need food and gold if you want to go up, and especially if you're not under any kind of attack, is always super impressive to me. And now MbL, okay, Hera bought food, sold wood. MbL bought food, sold wood. So they're both, no, actually, never mind. MbL bought wood. Okay. So MbL spending that Spanish gold. Let's see what his exploration is netting him here. I don't know why one scout, is he on follow command? Why does he keep following this other scout over here? Hera, for his part, despite getting some good initial scouting with his military units, has not been out on the map at all. And that's a little concerning because Hera is probably the best early game scouter I have seen to date. And right now MbL is just exploring. He's found a relic. He's going to find additional gold patches. Hera did click up the castle first, but by about 13 or 15 seconds, not exactly the end of the world for our Spaniard, especially if he's the one putting the aggression on the other side of the map. That just buys him. By the time Hera's units even move down here, MbL is going to already be in Castle Age, just like his opponent, and has discovered yet another relic. There's one down here as well. But maybe MbL is extending a little bit too far. Hera's returned, and he's got a lot of skirmishers. He is basically, I think, one-shotting these red skirmishers. Okay, maybe not. He was one-shotting until he lost a few of his own. And MbL now has to kill basically 13 seconds. I think he's going to be able to do that. Something tells me MbL is going to be able to distract Hera for 13 seconds while I finish this sentence, and he also hits the Castle Age. What is Hera doing? Immediately a monastery, immediately additional villagers, MbL, villagers, skirmishers, and 2 town centers. And he's got a couple of scouts here. Man, do these units move fast. When they get upgraded to light cav, they lose a little bit of their movement speed, which is unfortunate, although it kind of makes sense if you're wearing a bit more armor. Oh, that looked like a fantastic move there. That one scout threaded the needle between the 2 spearmen. They kill him right before they become pikemen, or maybe right after they become pikemen. I was so enamored in that little maneuver that MbL pulled that I didn't notice exactly when the unit got killed. But now a couple more here. But with pikemen, 22 attack bonus against cavalry, I don't think there's going to be anything that these 2 scouts can do. These are loom villagers that are now trapping the scouts. But as fast as you move, Mr. Celtic infantry unit, the scout does, of course, move faster. And so MbL veering off to the left, trying to lead these pikemen on a merry chase while his knights return to maybe get some damage. Did MbL just like right click around this monastery, ring around the rosy, a Celt full of posies? I don't know what he's doing here, but there are a lot of pikemen out for our Celt, and there are still 5 skirmishers for our Spaniard. Now adding 3 more. Hera is just buying, selling. Very mercantile this game, as a defensive siege workshop gets posted right in front of his base and the scout. I mean, this is just nice for the eyes right now, right? There's no way there's going to be a relic anywhere here if there's already a relic up here. And so I think MbL is just kind of filling in the dark spots in the Swiss cheese of exploration. And did his monk just discover this relic? That is fantastic. I mean, MbL is just getting an amazing amount of map vision, and that might explain why he is 700 points ahead of Hera, who takes the relic. Has he seen the one to the north of his base? No, he hasn't. That is very sour. Has he seen the one to the bottom left? Also no. So for now, 0 relics apiece, but there's a whole bunch of slow red dots moving around the map. Pikeman gets got here. No way he's going to escape, right? Right? No, he's a Celtic pikeman. Of course he escapes. Do the Knights want to chase in? No, they don't. I'm surprised that MbL didn't chase that one pikeman and then return to get healed. Maybe now he will. But these are not Frankish Knights. Their line of sight is absolute dog shit. What is that? 3 tiles? 4 tiles? Not that great at all. And we saw 3 town centers. MbL, now it's his turn to get housed, but he's housed with a house at a 3rd completion. So maybe not housed for very long, but I don't know, 1 villager, 2 houses. He is training 4 villagers at a time. That population space is going to get taken up real quick. I love the never-ending scouting out of our Spaniard. This is just incredible. I mean, he sees that Hera's army is up here. He knows exactly where the Celtic military is, and is it a big surprise that he is now, looks like he's pivoting to the left side with a very slow motion moving pair of knights that have been, for some reason, clumped together with a monk, which makes them move as slow as molasses on a cold January day. Oh, you don't need ballistics for that. The pikeman gets a little bit too friendly, a little bit too comfortable. And now Hera, perhaps suspecting that MbL is going to move to the left after seeing the army move to the left with the pikeman, is now positioning his army in the more center position so he can react. Not too sure why he stopped moving. Maybe he thought it would be a bit of a feint and that MbL wouldn't commit to this side of the map, but MbL sure as hell is committing. 400 stone for him, 500 gold. Will he buy 200, 300 more stone so that he can plop down a castle? Otherwise, I'm not too sure where these villagers are going, except maybe to repair the mangonels, which have been kind of firing on one another. Elite skirmishers for our Celt. Pikemen have to get the hell out of here. A couple of converted pikemen as well, who, by the way, it looks like lose their movement speed. 15% faster movement speed. There we go. He bought 200 stone. The pressure is on, but Hera, an interesting location for a castle for Hera. MbL's castle is going to negate the gold in the town center. Hera's castle doesn't really do anything to stop that, right? Anything within this red radius is still kind of lamed at the moment by this one castle from our Spaniard. I guess it stops any further incursion on the left side, but you can't imagine that your opponent has 650 more stone right now. And so, like I said, an interesting location for a castle. I thought he was going to maybe place it here in the center, secure the stone, which is what the real importance is if you want to perhaps go unique unit, but maybe I'm reading too much into Hera's castle placement. Both players heading up to the next stage. Hera again with a 14-15 second advantage, and MbL expanding off campus to a secondary stone pile with a 4th town center. Hera still just on 1, now 2. Not a bad location, to be fair. Stone farms, etc. And Hera's using this opportunity to get Bosa. He's going to get some armor for his infantry, and of course he is going Woad Raiders while our Spaniard is going Conquistadors. Okay. That's not, I mean, you can kind of expect the Spanish to go Conquistadors. At least maybe 5 to 10 Conquistadors just to run around, cause a bit of trouble. They are quite tanky. They are quite mobile. They do pack a punch in terms of their attack. Woad Raiders with Hera, any civilization that doesn't get decent hussars, if they have a good unique unit or a quicker unit like an eagle or a woad or a gulam or whatever, then I pretty much expect Hera to go that route. And the Celts, despite the fact that they actually do have hussars, they actually don't have the bloodlines upgrade or the last armor upgrade, which makes their paladins pretty crappy. And no, not scrappy, crappy. Castle will go up 30% faster than normal with those Spanish villagers. Looks like a mangonel is trying to zone out some skirmishers on the right. Conquistadors are firing, but not quick enough. 3 villagers, man. I will never stop saying this. The Woad Raider for what it looks like, which is a skinny, tattooed, long-haired, lightly to no armored dude with an axe, can cause a lot of damage. But now Conquistadors are firing. There is a Skirmisher Meat Shield Castle. Ooh, 74% incomplete. Where are these other villagers, though? By another town center for MbL. He knows the Spanish don't have a First Crusade, right? Supremacy. So all of these, I'm going to keep my mouse on one of the villagers so that in 30 seconds we can see their stats. Supremacy villagers have more HP than a pikeman. They attack stronger than a pikeman, and they have more base armor than a pikeman. So actually, I guess they have the same base armor as a pikeman, but with this upgrade, take a look at the bottom left of your screen right now. 40 HP, 3 attack is going to jump up to 80 HP, 9 attack, and +3, +4 armor. And here we go. The entire village has been brought forward. Okay, I mean, against Woad Raiders, probably not going to survive very long. Sorry about the mouse clicking there. But it looks like a bunch of them took out skirmishers, took out... Oh, where the hell are they going now? Are they going after the Trebs? No, not in front of a castle. Oh, my goodness. I think MbL realized, hey, wait a second, what the hell am I doing? They're good, they're not that good to take on a castle with just 6 of them. Hera's entire skirmisher force, by the way, remains dead. Or actually, I shouldn't say remains dead. Remains over there and then gets dead immediately. Trebs for our Celt. A single Treb. 2 bombard cannons for our Spaniard. Remember, their gunpowder units fire 18% faster, and now they're going after the relics. I mean, if you're gonna go supremacy villagers, you're gonna have to get sappers, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like Castle Down for a Spaniard. I didn't mean to sound like Christopher Walken. Sappers. You gotta get sappers. More sappers. They're not paying attention. Why do they stop attacking the monastery? Why did a couple of them... Very strange villager movement here from MbL, who is housed again now that the castle is down. And I don't see any construction on his side of the map, which means he's going to be housed... Well, I guess right as I said that he finished a house. So I thought it was going to be a little bit more serious than that. Woad Raiders move in. One conversion, and then freezing, I guess. By the way, Celtic Trebs are gone. Bombard Cannon has 4 kills. Conquistadors are also, by the way, gone. And we're not pivoting to hand cannoneers for our Spaniard, whose villagers are still kind of hanging out. He's ahead. 41 villagers is our Spaniard, which is the last thing you ever want to be against the Spanish, is down villagers. I mean, sure, there are other civs with cool features like the Poles, whose villagers regenerate, the Incas, whose villagers get the blacksmith upgrades. Who is it? The Bohemians, who get sanctity and fervor for their villagers, but there is no villager quite like the Spanish supremacy villager. Oh, that looked like it was open for a second. That definitely is open. Oh, the BBC gets taken down. But the castle should go up. I'm not sure a couple of skirmishers are enough to take it on, and down goes the Treb. But Hera's castle to the southwest of his base is also down. And our Spaniard is unrelenting. He has 10 villagers on stone. Hera doesn't have any villagers on stone. He lost, I guess, access to his primary stone, which, as we saw for both players, was in the forward position. And he's already mined out his extra stone. So MbL is kind of helping himself here. Okay, it used to be 10. Now it's 8. It's a 21 villagers taking Hera's stone. He does not want the Celt to have any stone left by the time this is done. Come on, somebody activate the bear. The bear gets activated. Not sure against who? The villager? How was it the villager that activated the bear? I thought for sure the Woad Raider. Oh, to be a supremacy villager. I mean, who wins here? Is it the bear, the pikeman, or the villager? Sounds like a C.S. Lewis novel. High octane chase is going on. I don't want to highlight anyone's HP. Let's leave it up to the mystery of the game. Oh yeah, the villager's definitely going to die to the castle, and so does the bear. as does another villager right next to the bear. All right, so Mother Nature aside, let's see what we're working with. Our Spaniard has 177 villagers, and he's getting bombard towers against the Celts, who have siege rams with, what is it, 378 HP? With Fura Celtica, who attack faster, who are trained faster. Interesting choice. For now, though, okay, he's down to a meager 170 villagers as MbL. He has he's got 1,300 stone. Hera's about to get balled into the Dark Age here. Oh my goodness. He sees it. Of course he sees it. I mean, look, World Raiders are not terrible at taking down buildings as well, with a basic 2 attack bonus against them. But with a 30% faster constructing villagers, I don't know that he's going to be able to kill enough of these, especially not when they have 0 HP on a villager and 3 melee armor. Now, I don't think the Spanish faster firing gunpowder applies to their structures, right? Yeah, reload time is 6. I think it only applies to their units. So instead of 3.5 second delay, it's 2.93. Very specific. Villagers, by the way, get a Treb and another amazing get there for MbL, who's basically trading out trash units, which is what villagers really are, for 400 resource gold wood intensive units. Now they're going after the blacksmith. I mean, look, the choice of targets here for MbL is perhaps a real head scratcher. And villagers are the kind of unit you have to actively micro. They're not going to go from one target to another unless you actively click that target. Very cocky bombard tower attempt up here, but oh my goodness, there's an encroachment of bombard towers here, and he's getting murder holes. Oh my goodness, it is about time that we normalized murder holes in Age of Empires. Hera responds, says, get the hell off my neutral gold, get the hell off my stone. The Woad Raiders are here as well. They will take these villagers out. MbL has a couple of villagers. Where's the next bombard cannon gonna go? There's a real whack-a-mole with bombard cannons. MbL still has 330 stone, but in reality he has access to 1,100 more if he wanted it. Now the castle's up. Villagers, man, can they take a pounding from a castle with that 80 HP and extra armor. Woad Raiders are on the warpath here. Bombard tower has been built within the radius of the castle, which I don't think it needed to be. 11 to 10 radius. Yeah, I didn't think it really needed to be. Will he repair the bombard tower? Will he just build another one? MbL is at 200 population. Hera's struggling to maintain the 150s. And there is masonry as well. So all the structures just got roided up. Double BBC kill for Hera, whose Woad Raiders are on stand ground or defensive. I don't know what these Woad Raiders are smoking before they go into battle. But it definitely does not make them more aggressive. Actually, it makes them a lot more docile. They're going to go through these ranks of skirmishers like yours truly goes through whatever junk food you can imagine. I like that he's pairing the bombard towers, by the way. That they have each other's backs, although with murder holes not really necessary. And how many siege workshops does our Celt have? Oh, he doesn't have any. I mean, rams are not a bad response here. There's a bunch of villagers attacking and repairing. Wu will win out. It is the Celt repairer who beats out the Spanish aggressor, and now the Spaniard is going after the castle. Hera does not have murder holes, which means these villagers, after taking a bit of arrow fire, getting to their destination, should be safe and secure. Another town center, I believe, within the line of sight of our Spaniard. Another Treb falls. MbL's down to 155 villagers. He's selling wood. He's buying stone. Of course he is. He senses that this push is working. And so now is the moment. Now is the time to double down on every possible bombard tower you can. I am a little bit concerned for Hera that he's just adding in Woad Raiders. I mean, he does have 500 wood. At least maybe build one siege workshop. Now, I believe upgrading siege units is not a cheap endeavor, although when it comes to rams, I believe it is only a food cost. Oh, and our Spaniard is about to add insult to injury. He's going to add some light cap to absolutely eviscerate this skirmisher line and then start running around. Oh, Hera's got a whole bunch of idols here to the back as well. He's down to double-digit villager count. His town center looks like it's under attack by what? What is attacking the town center here? Oh, a single hand cannoneer. Oh my god, he killed the bear. High priority target here for MbL before he starts shelling away at this town center. Single Treb does help gun down both of these bombard towers, but a bombard cannon. What a beautiful collapse animation. The Woad Raiders are of course going to go after the trebuchet. Another bombard tower. 2 bombard towers, but the Treb is ultimately down, and now the action has pivoted to the more center of the map, which honestly is to Hera's benefit, because now his main settlement has kind of been left alone to do whatever the hell he wants. He has 700 wood. Where are the siege workshops for our Celt, who is continuing to go Woad Raider? Oh, Treb down, but with its final dying, gasping breath, it takes down a farm. And now there's a bombard cannon here, and oh my goodness, what the hell was this game? This was absolutely epic. Did Hera have any siege workshops towards the end? Like I said, I get it. It's a costly transition, but it is only food, I believe. Somebody in the comments correct me if I'm wrong. It is only food to upgrade siege, battering rams to capped ram, and then capped ram I think is like 1,000 food to go up to siege ram. But I think maybe a couple of siege rams would have helped out here. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe some Woad Raiders huddled inside the safety of a siege ram could have definitely helped out these trebuchets. But that is neither here nor there. Hera, I believe, is out of gold as well. Let's rewind just 1 second. Yeah, he's got 0 villagers on gold. His resources are completely drained. MbL, look at him. He's in triple digits, all of them. Hera's in double digits and 0 for stone. What an absolute amazing display of the Spanish villager, that not only supremacy, but also the 30% faster construction. And how many bombard towers did we end the game on? Complete and under construction, 12, but only 10 kills. So interesting, only 10 kills. There must have been a whole bunch of them who got destroyed and toppled that had more kills. But I think the combination of getting penned into a corner and unable to do the usual raiding that he likes, and the appearance of the light cavalry unit. And by the way, Spanish hussars are a real thing. The Spanish, I think, have one of the cleanest, pristine tech trees in the game. They have perfect infantry, perfect cavalry, perfect monks, perfect navy, if MbL wanted to make use of this here. And their defensive structures get all the upgrades: masonry, hoardings, architecture, all of it. 2,400 HP on a bombard tower means it is going to take a while for it to die. And I like that MbL, for the most part, is placing the bombard towers on the high ground. But what an absolute amazing, and maybe not this one, what an absolute amazing display of the Spanish villager. The real MVP of MbL's strategy here was that villager. He still ends up at 167. I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful display. And for all of these static defensive structures, it's actually mostly skirmishers that our Spaniard went, followed by hand cannoneers and bombard cannons towards the end there, while Hera built a bit more of a standard army. Of course he did. 100 skirmishers, almost 100 Woad Raiders, and a few pikemen. Hera's peak APM, of course, 10 minutes ago, above, I mean, 250 APM for Age of Empires is ridiculous. And then a few minutes before that is our Spaniard with a 129. So about half peak APM is Hera. What do we think the economies are like? This can't be close at all. Yeah, about 20% bigger economy, 60 to 72 is actually, I think it's actually exactly 20% difference. Relics playing a role, but not really a determinative factor. 800 relic gold difference. All of the resources going to our Spaniard, who gets 3 conversions to 2, so not really playing a role. 32 buildings destroyed to 23. So our Celt did fight back. Castles were falling for our Spaniard in the beginning. I was getting a little bit concerned when this castle fell, and then the concern was alleviated a little bit with those supremacy villagers that just kept popping castles up all over the map. And even though Hera ends the game with this one castle up, There is not much he can do to stop this kind of super late game switch. I don't know if it's a switch because MbL didn't really have that crazy of an army to start with, right? He didn't really start with, oh, I'm gonna go heavy cavalry and paladins, and then, oh, never mind, I'm just gonna tech switch. So let's just call it a Bombard Tower push. 2 kills, 3 kills, 0, 2, 0. I wonder if it shows this buildings destroyed. Yeah, so you can see it killed no units, but it did deal 2,900 damage. Let's see how much damage these Bombard Towers dealt. 13,000 resources worth of damage, and they killed 3 villagers and 7 military. So they dealt 13,000 damage. I mean, they did cost a good amount of stone, but what an absolute fun game out of both players. MbL, like I said, basically penning Hera inside the corner of his map. Look at the minimap. Our Spaniard, it didn't even bother expanding at all to the south. Even though there's a forest, there's some resources, there's no town centers here, there's nothing. Everything is in a very forward, very aggressive posture. 8 archery ranges, 5 stables, but more importantly, how many town centers? 5 town centers. So he did end up on just the 5, and from those 5 town centers, he spewed forth 167 villagers. And with those villagers, like I said, what a classic example of the power of supremacy and that 30% faster construction time. Just a great synergy for that civilization. And with that synergy, it is MbL who absolutely demolishes the southwest territories of the Celts, presses the Celts to the rear, and Hera unfortunately realizes that there is no more escape from this vice, this death grip that MbL has put on his settlement, lives to fight another day, taps out, and it is MbL who is victorious. But GG in a really fun game to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.